Okay, I'm recording now. Hello everybody. Welcome to Andrise Philippines. My name is Kaz. I'm here with Rico. I'm waiting for other members to come in into the room. We've been discussing this for about maybe over 5 minutes, and I forgot to press record. So we're just recapping. My intention to get everyone talking tonight is because just to see how everyone is, and at the same time to talk about the casting issues. Um, the latest casting issue with the Vampire Chronicles, which are now with AMC Networks, the network behind the Walking Dead franchise. They released a photo of everyone's, well, not everyone, but a favorite character from Game of Thrones named Grey Worm, who is played by Jacob Anderson, brilliantly played by Jacob Anderson. He is now playing Louie, and this is where the issue comes from. Louis is supposed to be white in the books. He is born in France and his parents migrated to New Orleans. So he was never Creole to begin with. So why did you cast a person of color to play Louis? I have nothing against casting, choices with regards to including people of color, because diversity, yes, is something that we need in a story and makes it interesting. But where do you draw the line wherein you have to change the ethnicity of a character that was white to begin with from the source material just to say that there is diversity? That's where the issue stems from. And now, since we know in the books that Louis owns a plantation, Lestat likes that plantation because he needs. Lestat is a creature of comfort. He likes nice things. So would he choose living in a brothel as compared to living in a plantation in Louisiana? Of course, he will choose a plantation, diba? And that's where some of the discussion from other Anrice groups are coming from. That Louis, who is now Creole, will not own a plantation, but will own a brothel. Now, if he owns a brothel, where does that put Babette? And also, where does that put the issue of his brother's death, which was why Louis was very depressed and despondent in the book to begin with. Now, I did a little research because my initial response was, how can you make Louis a person of color when he cannot own property and he cannot have slaves on his own? So I rechecked and found that Creole or people of color, free people of color, can actually own property and also can have slaves. So okay, historically, then that's all set. But how will you make his ethnicity, work this time? Some people in other groups are saying it's not about the ethnicity; it's about how he probably auditioned. That's why he got the role. So okay, no one's discounting that he's a great actor,
Talented. Yeah.
diba? That he can bring pathos to the character if needed. But again, going back to the source material, why are we changing the ethnicity that radically? Now, I may have to also cite a different show this time. I don't know if you guys have watched Shadow and Bone on Netflix. It's also one of my favorite book series as well, written by Lee Bardugo. Now, when the casting for Alina came out, and I saw that it was an Asian actor, I was like, "What's going on? Why is Alina Asian? She's not Asian in the books." There is, however, a different country, the south of Ravka, which is called the Shu. The Shuhan I think that's where they got it. That the Shuhan are slightly Asian slash Mongolian, and there's a little bit of discrimination there. So they felt that maybe to address the issue of discrimination and I guess ethnicity, they decided to make Alina, the star of the show, or the one who is the sun summoner in the show, part Shu. So with that kind of thinking, I kind of like understood why, and it was explained by the author and also explained by the person who was involved in the show. But for the Vampire Chronicles, Anne has been quiet. Chris has been quiet. I don't know why. Is it because that they've learned their lesson from the Tom Cruise fiasco back in 1994 when Tom Cruise was casted as Lestat, and they'd rather keep quiet, because if they don't keep quiet, people will start asking them questions based on what their reactions will be based on the casting. So rather than not address the casting, they'll just keep quiet about it. Or there is a clause in the AMC contract that has basically sold the entire Vampire Chronicles as well. Not just that, but also the Mayfair Witches has also and has also been sold to AMC. Perhaps there's a clause there that we don't know that stipulates that Anne and Chris cannot um, take an active role
Say
in
anything? Oh,
or say
okay.
anything. Yeah,
But
because I don't
but
know. What?
that's weird, Kaz, because first of all, they have executive producer roles, and that's not an easy thing. You cannot gag an executive producer of a show. And I've actually been wondering, Blood Communion came out in 2018, right?
Mm,
2019 they announced that there was going to be the show, so we were happy in spite of the pandemic. It got delayed by a lot of problems because of the pandemic. It didn't come out 2020, didn't
yeah.
come out this year, will come out next year. All of these delays. And for 2019, 2020, now
Okay, internet, work with me here. Yeah, you're freezing again. I may just have to edit this again.
we back.
Okay, you're back. Good.
Are you back? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yes, you
so
are
I
back.
was thinking she was busy. Yeah, good. That she was busy with trying to produce a TV series, and that's why no new book. And I thought that was fine, okay. But with these developments, and you're really making me think, how come they are not speaking about this? And
Yeah,
she did apologize about the Tom Cruise thing. She did write a whole page ad on
yeah,
the New York Times to say that she absolutely loved how Tom portrayed the character when she's seen the movie. So I think she should be beyond being shy about or being. This is, but you're correct in pointing this out. Anne, who is very outspoken, very
yes,
quiet about this casting choice. Chris
yes.
is very
And as
outspoken.
King Violet, yes, and they're
Yeah,
quiet. So I don't
they're
know.
very quiet. So it's strange. The color, the skin color, we don't want to be racist, okay? But what we want to be is to be true to the books. The books aren't racist, but they do
Yeah,
record something that's very rooted in history. Wherever the Vampire Chronicles, wherever the settings were, in 1800s or in 19th century New Orleans or Mississippi. That was what was happening back then, and
yeah.
that's something that we Anne Rice fans have come to admire about Anne. The research she puts into whatever milieu she uses in the books, may it be ancient Rome, may it be anywhere the vampires are in the world, they're
Mm-hmm.
rooted in actual historical events and facts. And
Yeah,
so there really should not be any, like, this very walking on eggshells fear about being called racist. If we're just being faithful to the books, people would understand we are just showing them what really happened through the eyes of these immortal characters,
yeah.
right?
And and in the latter books in the series, like what do you call
Like
this?
Merrick.
Like realms of Atlantis
Raps, yeah,
and also Prince Lestat, she has Indian vampires.
yeah,
She the Replomoids in Atlantis, they're not white skinned, they're brown skinned.
right.
See, so you can't say that the material does not have um, characters that will befit the casting of people of color because there are. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe initially there was none, but Akasha, I understood the casting of Aaliyah for Akasha back then because Akasha is from Egypt,
Egypt.
diba? So
Yeah.
people from Egypt are not exactly fair; they're mulatto. So we understood
Mm.
why it has to be someone who is not of of
Yeah.
who's white, you know. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna
And
happen. I don't know
so
what's gonna
yes,
happen.
there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space within the chronicles, within the universe of Anne Rice, for all sorts of races of people, and we just have to be accurate. We just have to be faithful, I think. And there's the boldness of it, just just being able to say this is what happened, this is what the characters did, this is how they pushed the story forward, and then this is what was going on in that part of the world at that time. All of that boldness that Anne has in her writing, you just throw that out the window out of fear of being called, "Oi, now you have to do colorblind casting." Okay, sure, you want to do colorblind casting? That's fine. I can probably watch Louis in I forget the actor's name, Jacob Anderson's Skin. That's fine. He's probably talented. Okay, but don't why do you have to accommodate um how do you justify plantation owner versus brothel? Tell me to look at the actor um just deeper than the color of his skin and through the character they're portraying. Sure, I can do that. People have been doing that. People on Broadway are doing a lot of colorblind casting, but do not make him into a brothel owner just to justify your casting choice. That's not being
Right.
faithful to the character. And
Yeah, yeah.
we really need. I really wish we can hear from
Oh, internet, we so love you. Internet.
as fake news, but now that it's here, it's kind of it's not sure. Anne owns these characters. She's executive producer. She probably gave this her thumbs up, or like Kaz's theory, she was probably gagged from saying
From
about this.
saying
I want to
anything.
know, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Wait, is
we
she
kind
in
of
the producers list? I'm not sure because the way that it spelled out from Chris was they sold it. So
so
I'm not sure if they are or they it was acquired. Yeah, there you go. I'm looking at the Vampire Chronicles Facebook page. This was in of May 14th of last year. So it says in a major acquisition, AMC Networks announces it has purchased the rights um, for Anne's work. So that
was
includes
that similar to what happened to Queen of the Damned? Like like Warner Brothers purchased the rights and they had like complete control, and we got that really butchered version of in the movie.
um I think that's part of the rights for fear that the rights will revert back to Anne. They quickly had to make Queen of the Damned before the rights
Mm-hmm.
went back to her
Mm-hmm. So
because
it's the same thing
Anne has a
here because
clause in the
AMC
contract.
now has the rights.
Yeah, so
Ah,
it could be that because AMC holds the rights, their hold on the material is a little bit more. and all encompassing than a simple producer.
So
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 since
now,
that AMC network will hold the comprehensive rights. So for this
ah,
world-renowned and globally coveted intellectual property to develop for its own television networks and streaming services under the AMC Studios umbrella, as well as external partner licensing with Anne and his son and her son Christopher Rice, serving as executive producers on all series and films. Okay, so
there
they
you
are
go.
still, they are still involved in a executive producer capacity. Terms of the agreement were not disclosed, and together, the Vampire Chronicles and the Mayfair Witches series have sold more than 150 million copies worldwide. So yeah, so we
I
don't know.
understand that to mean, yeah, I understand that to mean that it had to have been AMC's decision to make all of these changes.
Mm,
And just putting myself in the shoes of AMC, they probably were wanting to, get more fans, like newer fans, like a big viewership for this. Um, Sacrificing, alienating the rest of us who know these characters so well, who
by
have been
heart.
with these characters for years and years and years.
Mm,
And I don't think that was a good bargain on AMC's part. I think had they just stuck with um, how the books were written and how the
mm,
characters were portrayed in the books, then we would have been given a really, really bold, courageous story, which is what the Vampire Chronicles are. A very
mm,
engaging, it grabs you by the throat. It kind of makes it like blunt, or it makes it like it casting somebody of this race, notwithstanding his talent, not just to change the story, you put kid gloves onto the story, and then if you see, if they wanted to cast somebody of that color, o sige, do it. But make him plantation owner, then try to justify it and tell everyone to our face because he's talented, he has good good body of work, he deserves the role. Okay, fine. I'm willing to see beyond his skin. But brothel owner? Really? Really?
well,
How is that
the brothel owner
not
is a
racist?
possibility that is being discussed in one of the threads. So we don't know yet if that's a confirmed thing. There was just a speculation, but I don't know if well, as I said, this is historically there's the loophole there that free people of color can still own plantations and have slaves. So if in case that happens, then okay, fine, keep him as a person of color playing Louis. Heaven
Yeah.
forbid, heaven forbid that what they do to Jacob Anderson is to make him white with makeup.
Oh no.
They
Oh
better
no.
not do
Please.
something like
No.
that. I don't think they will. I don't think they will because that will be really atrocious, and that's
White face. No, please
that's
don't do
different.
that.
That's a different kind of discrimination altogether. I remember back in the day, wherein people of color were asked to put or people who were white, were they put black makeup on in order to pass for black because they could not cast black actors. Something like for a particular role or on stage back in the day, vaudeville days or something like that. So yeah, Al Johnson days. So yeah, I remember something things like that. So this is going to be something in reverse, wherein you cast a black a person of color to play a role that's initially white, and then you put makeup on him to make him pass off as white. Please, AMC, do not
No.
do that
Yeah.
because you're not making a
Don't.
wrong thing
Please.
right. I mean, in math, a double negative may give you a positive, but in this case, no. No, no, no. Um,
Well, and and
I
and
don't know if anyone
weren't
else has
we?
yes
I,
this evening, but I'm glad that you are here, and we'll be sharing
thanks.
this little discussion that we have, this little rant that we have on a Thursday night on YouTube, so everyone can see, and hopefully,
Was
mm,
I have a question. Was your excitement for the series a little dampened, or maybe even a lot dampened by this development?
uh, initial, well, dampened slightly. Yes, I wish they stuck with how the actor was, but if they are if I mean, as fans we can only do so much. We're not executive producer, we're not the ones to bring in the money,
Hmm.
we're not the ones to call in the final shots as to who should be playing what role or not. As fans we can only accept the decision that was made and hope that the decision came from a place of wanting to, let's say, make a story, to retell a story and make it um more current in spite of its 17th century milieu setting,
Right.
uh, and and this is the chronicles that we're gonna be dealing with in the next year. And should this get picked up for another season and another season after that, um, this will also give more fans an opportunity to voice what they like. So
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
it dampened my excitement for the series? The properties will always be there. I will always love the books. Now, as to how far I will go in loving the series, that is yet to be seen. How they execute the whole thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if it's executed well, then who knows? I might even just eat my words and say that okay, they got a great actor. I'm willing to look behind or beyond the
Yeah.
person of color casting. But as I said, my disappointment does not come because they casted a person of color into a role into the Chronicles. I'm all for for casting a person of color, but to change the person's ethnicity and to cast a person of color because you want to be current, because you want to say that Black Lives Matter, and because you want diversity into that, then that's the wrong reason why you want
Yeah.
to have a person of color in your show. So
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents into it. But the Vampire Chronicles are not the only ones who are, how should we say, who are being swept up and being the, I don't want to say victim, but are just one of the shows that have to deal with you know, blind casting, as you say, because superhero shows also get that.
Hmm. Hmm.
When Supergirl first, when the show Supergirl on the CW was casted, they changed Jimmy Olsen to they cast Mikad Brooks into the role of Jimmy Olsen. We all know that Jimmy Olsen is white. Jimmy Olsen is scrawny, skinny, frail looking, probably even freckled, and they got this big, huge ass, uh, African American actor who's buffed, who plays Jimmy Olsen. So it's like,
Hmm.
why? Here we go again. Just to say that you have an African American actor into the role, and you will not be guilty of whitewashing your series and not casting people of color into the show. I just felt that it was that. But eventually, I accepted him, into the role, and I've gotten used to seeing him as Jimmy Olsen. He may not be my ideal Jimmy Olsen, but I've gotten used to him as Jimmy Olsen. So I feel that moving forward, I might, or hopefully viewers will go along for the ride and get used to
Yeah.
Jacob Peterson being Louie, being a person of color, but
Yeah.
not our ideal Louis.
I think thank you for that, Kaz. My I guess my last words about this is especially to new fans, read the books, read the books, read the books.
Yes, read the
Um,
books.
Nothing like, going to the books. Second of all, they recast the crown, and they do that a lot, like almost per season. There's new actors portraying these roles, and if AMC decides that by doing this certain casting and it didn't work, it's not bringing enough money. If there's backlash that's really too loud enough for them to deal with, feel
Mm-hmm.
free to recast, feel free to make changes and make it more faithful to the books and see how that plays out. Because I guarantee you, in the Anne Rice universe, there's a lot. The space is so wide. It welcomes any person of color. Just stick to the books, and you'll not go wrong.
Yeah. I'm curious this time now if they fumbled on Louis for the series, will they get Armand right for the show? Because they fumbled
Yeah.
Armand in the movie. We all know that. Okay, fine. Banderas exuded Armand's um, enigmatic personality and his double dealing ways.
Yeah.
Banderas got that down pat, and he exuded that. But again, physically, we did not expect to see a Spanish actor portraying someone who is supposed to be, you know, a
Like a
character like
Roman cherub. Yeah.
yeah, who was taken from Russia and lived with Marius for a while. So you know, we hope that we get something like that. If they can't find a boy actor,
Yeah.
boy auburn haired actor to play Armand, I'm okay with them aging Armand just a little bit closer to the ages of the other characters, so that it doesn't feel too far off. Um, Also, I read somewhere that Tilda Swinton would make a good Gabrielle. What
I
would you
I
say?
would very very much agree. Very much agree.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she would be a great Gabrielle to see.
And she's
Uh,
ageless. Oh my God, she doesn't age at all.
yeah, you know what? This reminds me also of my own reaction when she was cast in Doctor Strange as the Ancient One. My issue
Mm-hmm.
with that
Mm-hmm.
is the Ancient One in the comics is not a woman. The Ancient
Mm-hmm.
One is really an old guy, Tibetan-ish, because
Okay.
he's from Tibet. So it should have been an old guy. So why did you make her a bald-headed Irish woman? I don't know why. Maybe they just wanted to, do something. But again, everyone accepted her in the long run. Then and she even has her own. I have a Funko of the Ancient One now. But again, she is the Ancient One in the MCU, but she is not my Ancient One in the comics. So
Okay.
again, with me venting this out tonight here in this discussion, um, I feel that that's basically what's going to happen to everyone else, and also to me, that we will accept Louis as Louis in the show, but not Louis in the books.
In the
We're not,
books. Right.
yeah,
Right.
we
I
will
guess,
just have to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I guess for people who have not read the books, and if it happens to be a good series, which I really hope it will be, I really hope for it to succeed,
Yeah,
then they'll probably picture Louis as that in their heads. But then read the books and find out how
yeah.
how it was originally, and but so the thing is,
There's another
people
issue that
who
came up, but I'll hold that. I'll let you finish.
okay. But the thing is, people, if people don't read the books, and that's fine if that's your choice. But they might compare him naman to Brad Pitt. That's a different thing, di ba?
Yes, hopefully viewers will not and should not compare Louis' portrayal, uh, the way that Brad Pitt does it in the movie, because according to Anne, Brad Pitt makes Louis even more despondent, more pathetic in the movie than he was in the books. So I guess Brad Pitt's non-liking of his involvement in the film kind of like bled into the film as well. That's why he,
Yeah. It
so it's like, I don't like this job. I don't like this role. But the role
it showed
requires
in
me
his
to be,
portrayal.
yeah, it requires me to be depressed. Okay, this is easy for me to do. I'm depressed already. Another thing they did not do right in the film are
Hmm.
the blood tears.
Oh no.
I hope
Yeah.
EMC will
I hope.
do it
Yeah.
right and do the blood tears. I don't know if you remember the show Vampire the Mask. Oh, sorry, it's a game. It's called The
The
Kindred.
Masquerade.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Kindred, the TV
Kindred.
series.
Kindred the
Remember that?
Embraced. Yeah.
Yeah, Kindred the Embrace. They did the Vampire Tears. I was happy that they did that.
Yeah.
I was happy that they did the Vampire Tears, and if we
And
have,
it's important that they do it. It's not so big a deal in the book, like it dictates the plot, but it is there.
yeah,
It's quite an important element. Blood, tears, blood, sweat.
yeah, that's right. I'm still trying to find the reference there, which explains why the bite is not as apparent um, when you get bitten. Do you remember it says something about because when a vampire? Oh no, Rico, come back. Okay, I'll wait for Rico to come back, and hopefully more people will join. He's just got disengaged, but that's how the internet is, and I'll still keep recording this. I've got a meter running at the top left. So yeah, if you're watching this and you just joined us now, we've been talking about the casting issues that we have on the character of Louis Pontulac for the AMC's adaptation of Interview with the Vampire. And as me and Rico voiced out, you know, um, we want to know also why Anne and Chris they have been very quiet about the casting. Maybe the contract with AMC stipulates that they remain quiet, and because they're executive producers, maybe they also feel the need that they cannot disparage the casting because their names are on the line. So who knows? Um, Maybe when production has begun and they allow interviews with Anne and Chris, maybe that's the time that they're going to let them say something and speak up and justify uh, the casting. Yeah. Okay, I'm just typing in and telling Rico to just come back on. And I'm still yapping. Okay. You guys can follow us on Twitter. We are there as well. I'm in charge of Twitter, and that's Ann Rice Fills. Let me just make sure that that is the right Twitter handle. So, if in case you're wondering if we are on Twitter, apart from us being on Facebook, yes, we are also on Twitter, and we are also on Instagram. Okay, so Twitter is Ann Rice Phils, Phils, And the same thing also follows for Instagram. Currently, um, we have um, um, we only have about 215 followers on Instagram. So I wish that you guys can follow us on Instagram. Make it more. We need more. For me personally, you can follow me on Instagram. That's Kaz Edmonds, CazEdmunds. Okay. For Twitter, it's CJ Edmonds one. That's with the number one. So Rico messaged that he used up his mobile data, so he might not be able to join us again. Okay, no worries, Rico. One thing that I also want to cover just before Rico logged out is this one. And Anne herself has also said that it is such a relief that it is already on YouTube. This is the documentary that the BBC has on her regarding her vampire universe. This is Anne Rice, Birth of the Vampire. Okay, for the longest time, it was not available online, but now it's on YouTube. So for those who have not been able to see this film, it runs about, how long is this? Running time is 45 minutes. Okay, yeah, 45 minutes. This was released back in 1994. Okay, so that's the back cover of the VHS. Goodness, this is back in the day when we used VHS. This is how it looks like inside. There you go. Okay. I was able to transfer this to digitally to VCD. Can't seem to find the VCD now, but now that it's on YouTube, so I'll be able to extract it and not have to um, transfer this again. I personally can't do it. I have to pay someone to do it for me. Another VHS that I also had transferred back in the day. Hold on, it's another one. Is this other one? If you love New Orleans, there you go. Can you see that? Oops, sorry, the reflection. There, visit with Anne Rice. So that's the video cassette. Okay. Again, yes, VHS. This is, I know, a little bit longer. This is the time when violin came out. 1997. It's about 52 minutes. So yeah, almost close to an hour. I know we get to see Anne and she's in her house and she's talking about New Orleans and the places to go in New Orleans. Now that I've been to New Orleans back in 2018, I may just watch this again and get a kick out of the places that she talks about. I have not visited all. I would want to go back so I can visit other places like Commander's Palace. It was closed for a private event. I wasn't able to go. Lafayette Cemetery was also closed because, again, there was an event that day that I was there. But at least I was able to go to the Garden District itself, visit Anne's house, the Garden District bookshop, the bookstore, which is just really great to be in if you love books, and some other places like the French Quarter, the Jackson Square, Cafe Du Monde, where I got to eat beignets. So, yeah, good stuff, which I do hope after the pandemic is over and we are safe to travel again, I would love to go back to New Orleans. And if for those who are able to travel and you have the means to do that, um, do that. Um, I mean, we only live a certain span of time, and if we can give ourselves the chance to check out other places in the world, then let's do that. We owe it to ourselves. Okay. Looks like that is it. No one else is joining us anymore. Such a shame. um, I was hoping that there'll be more people to join us this evening. The reason I posted that on a lark is because whenever I would post something that's a scheduled meeting and all, it's not gonna work. I would be busy and I would reschedule the event and all. So I figured, okay, why not on a lark do something that's unscheduled and do something that's just their spur of the moment thing, and there'll be a handful at least who would join us tonight. But looks like not everyone saw the message, so I can do this again, and this is the new normal now. That face-to-face discussions that we used to have are, I wouldn't say a thing of the past, but it would be something that will be done, maybe sparingly because of the virus. I mean, we rarely meet pre-pandemic, so this would probably be a good alternative to meet up a little bit more often because we will all be in the comforts of our own home when we talk to one another. Okay. So I'm signing off for now. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Rico, for joining in. And for those who have not been able to join, that's okay. This is not the last. This is just the first of many. And hopefully, when we come back to you again, there will be more issues to talk about casting, but no, more reasons to check up on everyone and see how everyone is doing in this time of the pandemic. So stay safe, stay creative. If you are a creator and you are writing your own book, pat on the back. Do continue that up to publication. As for me, you probably guys know that I do have a book out, or two of them, novellas out, Sojourn and Take Me Now, under my own pseudonym, CJ Edmonds. And I'll put that in the show notes. So if in case you want to check it out and see how Anne has inspired me to write, then I would love for you to do that. And if in case Anne has inspired you as well to read more and to write more, then for the love of Anne and for the love of the craft, let's do that. Okay. So you all stay safe, and I will see you again next time. All right. Bye.